Just English podcast.
Hey there. Welcome to the Just English podcast. This is your place for easy conversation in English. I'm Zoe.
And I'm Alex. Hey Zoe, how's your week been so far?
You know what? It's been interesting. I had one of those weeks. Everything just felt heavy. Work was intense. I had some personal stuff to deal with. And by Friday, I was exhausted. Not just my body, but my mind too.
Oh man, I totally get that. Sometimes life just throws a lot at you all at once. Did you manage to recharge over the weekend?
Yeah, I did. I actually spent Saturday morning just sitting in a park, doing nothing. Just watching people, listening to birds, drinking coffee. It sounds simple, but it really helped me find some inner strength again.
That's beautiful. And honestly, I think that's something we forget, that rest is part of building strength, not the opposite of it.
Exactly. What about you? How was your weekend?
Mine was good. I spent time with an old friend I hadn't seen in months. We talked for hours about life, about struggles, about the things we're both working through. It reminded me how important it is to have people you can be real with.
Absolutely. Those conversations where you don't have to pretend everything is perfect.
Right? Where you can just be honest and say, hey, I'm struggling with this. And that takes inner strength too.
It really does. And actually, that connects perfectly to what we want to talk about today.
Yeah, today's topic is something we both feel pretty strongly about. We're talking about finding your inner strength.
Finding your inner strength. Not the fake kind where you pretend everything is fine, but real strength. The kind that helps you get through difficult times and come out stronger.
And this English podcast episode is designed for B1 level learners. If you're at that intermediate level, this easy conversation is perfect for you.
But if you're still working through A2, don't worry. You can definitely follow along. Some vocabulary might be new, but that's okay. That's part of learning English naturally. And you can always replay parts you want to hear again.
Exactly. You can listen wherever you are right now. Maybe you're making breakfast. Maybe you're on a walk. Maybe you're doing laundry.
Or maybe you're just relaxing with some tea or coffee. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, we're just happy you're here learning English with us.
So who is this episode for? Well, if you've been going through something difficult, if you've been feeling tired or overwhelmed, or if you just want to understand what real inner strength looks like, this conversation is for you.
It's also perfect if you want to improve your English through real conversation about emotions, challenges, and personal growth, all in clear, simple language.
All right, before we dive into today's topic, can we ask you for something quick?
If you're enjoying these English conversations and they're helping you learn English in a natural way, it would mean the world to us if you could hit that like button and subscribe to the channel.
Yeah, and if you know someone else who's learning English, someone who might enjoy these real-life conversations, share this episode with them. It really helps us reach more people.
And we genuinely love hearing from you in the comments.
So here's what we want to know. Tell us, what country are you listening from, and what's one challenge you're working through right now?
It can be anything. Maybe you're working on a difficult project. Maybe you're dealing with a personal situation. Maybe you're trying to find your own inner strength in a tough moment.
Whatever it is, share it with us, your country and your challenge. Let's support each other.
Yes, we're all in this together.
Oh, and one more thing before we start. At the end of this episode, we're going to do a vocabulary review.
During that part, we'll break down some really useful words and phrases about strength, emotions, and challenges. You'll get clear definitions and practical examples so you can start using them in your own English conversations.
Perfect. So Zoe, finding your inner strength. What does that even mean to you?
That's such a good question. I think a lot of us have the wrong idea about what real strength actually is.
Right? Like society tells us that being strong means never crying, never asking for help, always being positive.
Exactly, but that's not real inner strength. That's just pretending.
So today, in this easy English conversation, we want to talk about what strength actually looks like, the real kind, the kind that helps you survive difficult times and come out even stronger.
And we're going to share some stories from our own lives, some times when we had to dig deep and find that inner strength.
Some of these stories are pretty vulnerable, actually, but we think that's important because real conversations help you learn English in a meaningful way.
Absolutely. So, are you ready to explore this with us?
Let's begin.
So, before we jump into our first story, let me ask you something, Alex. When you hear the words inner strength, what's the first thing that comes to your mind?
Honestly, I used to think it meant being tough, like never showing weakness, always pushing through, never letting anything get to you.
Like being a rock?
Exactly, like being this unmovable, unbreakable person. But I've learned that's not what inner strength really is.
So, what is it then?
I think real inner strength is more like being a tree in a storm.
A tree in a storm. Tell me more about that.
Well, when a huge storm comes, a rock just sits there. It doesn't bend, it doesn't move. But you know what happens to trees?
They bend?
Yes, they bend with the wind. Their branches move, their leaves shake. Sometimes they even lose some branches. But they stay rooted. And when the storm passes, they're still standing.
Oh, I love that image. So inner strength isn't about being rigid and never moving.
No, it's about being flexible enough to bend, but strong enough to not break. It's about adapting to challenges while staying true to who you are.
And I think this is such a beautiful way to practice English, too, using metaphors like this. When you learn English through images and stories, the language sticks in your mind better.
Absolutely. So today, we're going to talk about 4 important truths about finding your inner strength. 4 things that have helped us and that we hope will help you too.
Whether you're going through something difficult right now or just want to be better prepared for life's challenges, these ideas can really help.
All right, let's start with the first one.
So, the first truth about inner strength is this. Real strength comes from accepting your emotions, not hiding them.
This is so important. And Zoe, I know you have a personal story about this.
I do, and it's not easy to share, but I think it's important. A few years ago, I went through one of the hardest times in my life.
What happened?
I lost someone very close to me, someone I loved deeply. And when that happened, I felt like my world fell apart.
I'm so sorry.
Thank you. But here's what's interesting. After it happened, I tried so hard to be strong.
What do you mean by that?
I mean, I went to work every single day with a smile on my face. When people asked me, "How are you?" I said, "I'm fine." I pushed down all my sadness, all my pain, and I just kept going.
You were trying to act like nothing was wrong.
Exactly. I thought that's what strength looked like. I thought, if I just ignore the pain and keep busy, it will go away.
But it didn't go away, did it?
No. After about 3 weeks of doing this, I started feeling really strange. I couldn't sleep at night. I had no appetite. I felt empty inside, like there was a hole in my chest.
Because you weren't letting yourself actually feel the grief.
Exactly. And this is really useful vocabulary for English learners, by the way. When we say push down your emotions, it means you try to hide them or ignore them instead of feeling them.
Right, and when you practice English by talking about real feelings like this, you're learning words that actually matter in everyday life. These aren't just textbook phrases. This is how people really talk about their emotions.
Absolutely. So anyway, one evening I was sitting alone in my apartment, and I just couldn't hold it in anymore. I started crying,
and I cried probably an hour.
How did that feel?
Honestly, it felt like relief, like I could finally breathe again. All that pressure I'd been carrying, it started to release.
So what did you learn from that experience?
I learned that accepting your emotions doesn't make you weak. It makes you honest. It makes you human. And actually, it makes you stronger in the long run.
That's really powerful. And you know what? There's actual science behind this.
Really? Tell me more.
And what does the research say?
Well, studies show that when we suppress our emotions, they don't go away. They actually get stronger, and they can come out in other ways, like anxiety, physical tension, or even getting sick more often.
So trying to hide your feelings actually makes things worse?
Exactly. There's this idea in psychology called what you resist persists. The more you try to avoid an emotion, the more power it has over you.
Wow. So the healthier approach is...
To acknowledge your feelings, to say, yes, I'm sad right now, and that's okay. Or, yes, I'm scared, and that's a normal human emotion.
This is such important conversation practice in English too, learning how to express your feelings honestly. That's a crucial life skill.
Absolutely. And when you improve your English by talking about real emotions and challenges, you're not just learning grammar. You're learning how to connect with people on a deeper level.
So if you're listening right now and you're going through something difficult, please hear this. You don't have to smile through the pain.
You don't have to pretend you're okay when you're not.
Real inner strength isn't about never feeling sad or scared or angry. It's about feeling those emotions, acknowledging them, and not being afraid of them.
It's about saying, yes, this is hard. Yes, I'm hurting, and I'm going to give myself permission to feel that.
Because when you accept your emotions, you can start to process them. You can move through them. But if you keep pushing them down, they stay stuck inside you.
That's such an important point. Emotions need to be felt and processed, not avoided.
Exactly. So that's the first truth about finding your inner strength. Accept your emotions. Don't hide from them.
Feel what you need to feel. That's not weakness. That's courage.
All right, let's move to the second truth. And Alex, I believe you have a story about this one?
Yeah, I do. And honestly, this one's kind of embarrassing for me.
We're all learning here. What happened?
So, I've always been the kind of person who wants to do everything alone. Ever since I was young, I prided myself on being independent.
Like you never wanted to ask for help?
Never. I thought asking for help was a sign of weakness. I thought it meant I was failing or that I wasn't good enough.
A lot of people feel that way, especially men, I think.
You're right. There's this cultural message, especially for guys, that you should be able to handle everything yourself. Be strong, be independent, don't show vulnerability.
So what happened that changed your mind?
Well, about 2 years ago, I hit a really rough patch in my life. Multiple things went wrong at the same time.
Like what?
I was having serious problems at work. My boss was putting a lot of pressure on me, and I was worried about losing my job. At the same time, I had some unexpected expenses. My car broke down, I had to pay for some medical stuff, and suddenly I was in debt.
That sounds really stressful.
It was. And on top of all that, I was going through some personal relationship issues. So basically, work stress, money stress, and emotional stress all at once.
How were you coping with all of that?
I wasn't. I was barely sleeping. I was anxious all the time. I stopped eating properly. But I didn't tell anyone what I was going through.
Why not?
Because I was ashamed. I thought if people knew I was struggling this much, they would think less of me. They would see me as weak.
So you just tried to handle it all alone?
Yeah. And it was crushing me. I remember one day I was sitting in my car after work and I just felt completely overwhelmed, like I was drowning and I couldn't breathe.
Oh, Alex, that must have been so hard.
It was. But that same day, I met up with an old friend for coffee. He looked at me and said, "Man, you don't look good. What's going on?"
And what did you say?
At first, I tried to brush it off. I said, "Oh, I'm fine, just tired." But he looked me in the eye and said, "Alex, really, what's going on?"
He pushed you to be honest.
Yeah. And something in me just broke. I started telling him everything. The work situation, the money problems, how scared I was, how alone I felt. And I actually started crying right there in the coffee shop.
That must have taken so much courage.
It felt terrifying. But you know what my friend did?
What?
He didn't judge me. He didn't tell me to man up or just push through it. He said, "Thank you for telling me. I'm so glad you trusted me with this."
That's beautiful.
And then he said something that changed my perspective. He said, "Alex, I've been through something similar, and I learned that we're not meant to do life alone. Let me help you."
So he actually offered to help?
Yes, and he did help. He gave me advice about the work situation. He connected me with someone who helped me with my finances. He checked in on me every few days just to see how I was doing.
And how did that change your view of asking for help?
Completely. I realized that asking for help isn't a sign of weakness. It's actually a sign of wisdom. It takes strength to admit you can't do everything alone.
And this connects to learning English too, doesn't it?
Absolutely. When you're learning English, asking for help is essential. Asking someone to repeat something, asking what a word means, asking for feedback on your pronunciation, that's how you improve.
Right. If you try to learn English completely alone, never asking questions, never getting help, you're going to struggle much more.
Exactly. And the same is true for life. When you have a support system, people you can lean on, you become stronger, not weaker.
So modern psychology completely supports this idea, doesn't it?
Yes, there's tons of research showing that social support is one of the biggest factors in mental health and resilience. People who have strong connections, friends, family, community, they handle stress better. They recover from difficulties faster.
So isolation actually makes us weaker.
Much weaker. There's a reason humans evolved to live in groups. We're social creatures. We need each other.
This is such valuable vocabulary for English learners too. Phrases like ask for help, lean on someone, reach out to someone. These are everyday expressions you need for building real relationships.
Absolutely. And when you learn English through conversations about real human experiences like this, you're learning the language people actually use in life, not just in textbooks.
So here's the second truth about finding your inner strength. You don't have to do everything alone.
Asking for help when you need it, that's not weakness, that's wisdom.
The strongest people know they can't carry everything by themselves.
Real inner strength includes knowing to reach out, when to say, "I need support right now."
So if you're struggling with something today, please talk to someone. A friend, a family member, a counselor, someone.
You don't have to carry your burdens alone. And when you share them, they become lighter.
All right, let's talk about the third truth. And this one is really practical.
Yeah, this is about how we actually build inner strength day by day.
Exactly. So here's the thing. A lot of people think that finding your inner strength happens in one big moment, like you face one huge challenge and suddenly you become strong.
Like a movie moment where the hero has this big transformation.
Yes, exactly like that. But real life doesn't work that way.
So how does it actually work?
Inner strength is built through small, daily choices. Little decisions you make every single day that move you forward.
Can you give us an example from your own life?
Sure. So there was a period, this was about a year ago, when I felt really stuck. I wasn't happy with my job, I felt lost about my future, and every morning I woke up feeling weak and anxious.
What was the anxiety about?
Just everything. I was afraid of making the wrong decisions. I was afraid of failing.
I was afraid of what people would think if I changed my life path.
So you felt paralyzed by fear?
Exactly. I wanted to make changes, but I was too scared to take action. So I just stayed stuck, doing the same things, feeling worse and worse.
What broke that pattern?
One day, I was listening to a podcast in English, actually, and someone said something that stuck with me.
What did they say?
They said, "You don't need to make one big, brave decision. You just need to make one small, brave choice today." And I thought, okay, what's one small thing I could do today that scares me a little bit?
And what did you choose?
I decided to send an email I'd been avoiding for weeks. There was someone I needed to have a difficult conversation with, and I'd been putting it off because I was scared.
So you finally sent that email?
Yeah, and honestly, my heart was racing when I clicked send. My hands were shaking. It was just an email, but it felt huge to me.
How did you feel after you sent it?
I felt different. Like I'd proven something to myself. Like, okay, I did something that scared me. I can handle difficult things.
So that one small action changed something inside you.
It did. And I decided to make it a practice. Every day I would do one thing that scared me just a little bit.
What kind of things?
Different things. Some days it was making a phone call I'd been avoiding. Some days it was going somewhere new by myself. Some days it was saying no to something I didn't want to do.
Those all sound like small things.
They were. None of them were huge. That each one made me feel a bit stronger, like I was building a muscle, the muscle of courage.
And this connects beautifully to learning English, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. When you're learning English, you build confidence the same way, small steps every day.
Right. You don't need to have a perfect conversation in English tomorrow. You just need to practice a little bit today.
Exactly. Maybe today you learn 3 new words. Tomorrow you try to use them in a sentence. Next week you have a short conversation with someone.
Small steps. But over time, those small steps add up to real progress.
And there's actually psychological research that supports this approach.
Tell us about that.
It's called building self-efficacy. Basically, psychologists have found that every time you do something difficult, even something small, your brain learns a lesson.
What lesson?
Oh, I can handle hard things. And each time you prove that to yourself, you build more confidence. You start to trust yourself more.
So small victories create a positive cycle.
Exactly. And the opposite is also true. If you avoid challenges all the time, your brain learns, I can't handle difficult things, and you become less confident.
So taking action, even small action, is crucial for building inner strength.
Yes, and this is such practical advice for anyone listening. You don't need to change your whole life today. You don't need to make some huge, dramatic decision.
Just do one small, brave thing.
One small choice that moves you forward, that's all.
And this is true for practicing English, too. Maybe today you're nervous about speaking English with someone, so you start small. You speak just one sentence.
Yes. Or maybe today you listen to this podcast. That's already a small, brave step, choosing to learn, choosing to improve.
Every small step counts.
Absolutely. So that's the third truth about finding your inner strength. Build it step by step. Small daily choices, small moments of courage.
You don't have to be fearless. You just need to be brave for one small moment at a time.
And over time, those small moments create real, lasting inner strength.
All right, let's talk about the fourth truth. And this one is really important, but it's something a lot of people get wrong.
I'm curious. What is it?
The fourth truth is this. Real inner strength means knowing your limits.
Knowing your limits. Tell me more.
Well,
A lot of people think that being strong means never stopping, never resting, always pushing harder. But that's actually not sustainable.
You sound like you learned this from experience.
Oh, I definitely did. And it was a painful lesson.
What happened?
So, about 3 years ago, I was trying to be Superman. I was working full-time at a demanding job. I was taking on extra projects to make more money. I was helping everyone who asked me for anything.
That sounds exhausting.
It was. But I also thought that's what strength looked like. I thought strong people never say no, never take breaks, never show any sign of being tired.
So you just kept pushing yourself harder and harder?
Exactly. I was working 60, sometimes 70 hours a week. I wasn't sleeping enough. I was eating poorly because I was too busy to cook. I stopped exercising. I stopped seeing my friends.
Wow, so what happened?
I crashed. Completely burned out. One Monday morning, my alarm went off, and I literally couldn't get out of bed.
Physically couldn't?
My body just said, no more. I felt like I had no energy left. None. I called in sick to work, and I spent the next 3 days just lying in bed.
That must have been scary.
It was. And it wasn't just physical exhaustion. I felt anxious all the time. I had trouble concentrating. I felt disconnected from myself, like I'd lost who I was.
That sounds like classic burnout.
That's exactly what it was. And I realized all that strength I thought I had, it wasn't real strength. I was just running on empty and pretending I was fine.
So what did you learn from that experience?
I learned that real inner strength includes knowing when to stop, knowing when to rest, knowing when to say no.
That's such an important lesson, and it connects to learning English too, doesn't it?
Absolutely. When you're trying to improve your English, you might feel pressure to study for hours every day, memorize hundreds of words, practice constantly.
But that's not sustainable, is it?
No. Real progress in learning English comes from consistent, balanced practice, not from burning yourself out.
Right. Maybe you practice English for 20 or 30 minutes a day, but you do it every day. That's much better than studying for 5 hours one day and then being so exhausted that you quit for a week.
Exactly. Quality and consistency are more important than intensity.
And the same principle applies to building inner strength in life.
Yes. You need balance, you need rest, you need time to recharge your energy.
And modern psychology completely supports this, right?
Absolutely. There's so much research now on burnout, stress, and the importance of rest. Psychologists say that rest isn't the opposite of productivity. Rest is what makes productivity possible.
So when we rest, we're not being lazy.
No, we're being smart. We're respecting our human limitations, and that actually takes wisdom and strength.
Can you give us some practical examples of what this looks like?
Sure. It means learning to say no when you're already overwhelmed. Even if people are disappointed, even if you feel guilty, sometimes you have to protect your own energy.
What else?
It means taking breaks when you need them. Not just physical breaks, but mental breaks too. Time to do nothing, to let your mind rest.
And it means not comparing yourself to other people's pace, right?
Exactly. Just because someone else can work 80 hours a week doesn't mean you have to. We all have different capacities. We all have different needs.
These are such important conversation vocabulary in English, too. Words like boundaries, limits, recharge. These are essential for talking about work-life balance and self-care.
Absolutely. And when you practice English through conversations about topics like this, healthy boundaries, knowing your limits, taking care of yourself, you're learning language that helps you communicate your needs in real life.
These are the kinds of everyday English conversations that actually matter for building relationships and taking care of yourself.
So, that's the fourth truth about finding your inner strength. Know your limits, respect them,
Real strength isn't about never stopping. It's about knowing when to stop.
It's okay to rest. It's okay to slow down. That's not weakness. That's wisdom.
Taking care of yourself, that's the foundation of real, lasting inner strength.
You can't pour from an empty cup. You have to refill yourself.
All right, so those are our 4 truths about finding your inner strength. Let's do a quick recap.
First, accept your emotions. Don't hide them. Feel what you need to feel.
Second, ask for help when you need it. You don't have to carry everything alone.
Third, build strength through small daily choices, one brave moment at a time.
And fourth, know your limits. Rest is part of strength, not the opposite of it.
Before we go to our vocabulary review, we have a question for you.
Yes, in the comments, tell us, when did you feel strong inside?
Just share one moment, one time when you felt real inner strength. We'd love to hear your story.
And if these conversations are helping you practice English and grow as a person, please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel.
Alex, before we go to the vocabulary review, there's one more thing I wanted to talk about.
Of course. What is it?
Well, we talked about accepting emotions, asking for help, small daily choices, and knowing your limits. But there's one more thing that really helped me find inner strength.
I'm curious. What is it?
It's about surrendering, about letting go of control and trusting in something bigger than yourself.
You're talking about faith?
Yes, exactly. And I know that not everyone listening has the same beliefs, and that's okay. But I wanted to share what worked for me.
Please, share. I think this could help a lot of people.
So, a few years ago, I was going through a really difficult time. I had so many worries, so many fears, and I felt like I was carrying everything alone.
Like the weight of the world was on your shoulders?
Exactly. And I was trying to control everything, trying to solve every problem by myself. And the more I tried, the more exhausted I became.
So what changed?
One night, I was so tired, physically and mentally, and I just stopped. I sat in silence and I started to pray.
What did you say in your prayer?
I said, God, I can't do this alone anymore. I'm tired of trying to control everything. I'm surrendering it all into your hands.
You gave your worries to God.
Yes, and it was freeing, like a huge weight had lifted off my shoulders.
Because you weren't trying to carry everything by yourself anymore.
Exactly. And I realized that there are things in life that are beyond my control, and trying to control the uncontrollable, it only made me weaker.
So you learned to trust.
Yes, to trust that there's a creator, a higher power who takes care of me, who has a plan even when I don't understand it.
And that gave you inner strength.
So much strength, because I wasn't alone anymore. I knew I could surrender my difficulties, my fears, my doubts, and trust that God would take care of me.
That's beautiful, Zoe. And you know, I have a similar story.
You do? Tell us.
Yes. I grew up without much religion in my life. My family wasn't religious. So for many years, I thought spirituality was, unnecessary.
So what changed for you?
I went through a crisis a few years ago. A health crisis, actually. I got very sick and the doctors didn't know what was wrong with me.
That must have been scary.
It was terrifying. And for the first time in my life, I felt completely powerless. I couldn't control my own body. I didn't know if I would be okay.
And what did you do?
I started meditating. At first, it was just to calm my mind, because I was so anxious all the time.
And did meditation help?
Yes, but not in the way I expected. When I meditated, when I sat in silence, I started to feel something.
What did you feel?
A presence. Like I wasn't alone. Like there was something bigger. Someone bigger. Taking care of me.
God.
Yes. And I started talking to God during my meditations. I would say, God, I can't do this alone. I trust you.
And what happened?
Slowly, I started to feel peace. Even without knowing if I would be healed, I felt inner peace. Because I had surrendered the situation into God's hands.
And did your health improve?
Yes, eventually the doctors found out what I had and I got better. But the most important thing is that experience changed my life. I learned to trust in God.
So now you meditate regularly.
Every day. Sometimes it's just for 5 or 10 minutes, but I start my day by surrendering everything to God.
How do you do that?
I sit in silence, breathe deeply, and I say, God, this day is in your hands. My worries, my plans, my fears, I surrender everything to you.
What a beautiful practice.
And you know what's interesting? It gives me so much strength for the day, because I know I don't have to control everything. I can do my part and trust that God takes care of the rest.
Exactly. And this doesn't mean you become passive.
No, you still take action, still work, still do your part, but you do it all with peace, knowing that the final outcome is in God's hands.
It's a partnership. You do what you can, and God does what you can't.
Perfect. And this for me is the deepest form of inner strength, knowing that you're not alone.
And for anyone listening, maybe you believe in God, maybe you don't, but if you do, I encourage you to try this.
Yes, take a few minutes every day to meditate, pray, sit in silence.
Surrender your worries to the Creator. Say, God, I trust you. I surrender this into your hands.
You'll be surprised by the peace it brings.
And the strength it gives. Because you're not trying to carry everything alone anymore.
You have God by your side, and that changes everything.
So this is the fifth truth about finding inner strength. Surrender your difficulties to God. Meditate, pray, trust.
You don't need to control everything. You can let go and let God take care of you.
And when you do that, you discover a source of strength that never runs out.
And this connects beautifully to learning English too, you know?
How so?
Well, when you're practicing English and you feel nervous or scared of making mistakes, you can also surrender that fear.
You mean pray about your English learning?
Why not? You can say, God, help me be brave when I speak English. Help me learn and grow.
I love that. And honestly, when you approach learning English with that kind of peaceful mindset, instead of anxiety and fear, you learn so much better.
Absolutely. Because you're not afraid of being perfect. You trust the process. You trust that you're growing step by step.
And that trust, that peace, that's what helps you build real confidence in speaking English.
So whether it's life challenges or learning a new language, surrendering to God and trusting the journey makes everything easier.
You carry less stress, you feel more peace, and you find strength you didn't know you had.
All right, before we finish, let's do our vocabulary review.
Yes, we're going to go through 10 really useful words and phrases from today's conversation. These are words you can use when talking about emotions, challenges, and inner strength in English.
First one, inner strength. This means the mental and emotional power that comes from inside you, not physical strength, but the strength of your mind and heart.
Example 1, she found her inner strength after going through a difficult divorce.
Example 2, building inner strength takes time, patience, and self-compassion.
Next one, push down your emotions. This means to hide or suppress your feelings instead of expressing them. You try to ignore what you're feeling.
Example 1,
He tried to push down his sadness, but it only made him feel worse.
Example 2, it's unhealthy to push down your emotions all the time. You need to express them.
Number 3, ask for help. This is a simple phrase that means to request support or assistance from someone.
Example 1, don't be afraid to ask for help when you're struggling.
Example 2, she finally asked for help from her friends, and they were happy to support her.
Next, lean on someone. This means to depend on someone for emotional support, to rely on them when you need help.
Example 1, when I'm going through hard times, I lean on my best friend.
Example 2, it's okay to lean on the people who love you. That's what they're there for.
Number 5, step by step. This means gradually, one stage at a time, taking things slowly and steadily.
Example 1, you don't have to change your whole life today. Just take it step by step.
Example 2, she improved her English step by step, a little bit every day over many months.
Next one, build courage. This means to develop bravery over time through practice and experience.
Example 1, every time you do something that scares you, you build courage for the next challenge.
Example 2, speaking English with strangers helps you build courage and confidence.
Number 7, know your limits. This means to understand how much you can handle before you need to rest or ask for help.
Example 1, it's important to know your limits and not push yourself too hard.
Example 2, she learned to know her limits after experiencing burnout at work.
Next, recharge your energy. This means to rest and restore your mental or physical power, like charging a battery.
Example 1, I need a quiet weekend to recharge my energy after this busy week.
Example 2, taking breaks throughout the day helps you recharge your energy so you can stay focused.
Number 9, burn out. This is a phrasal verb that means to become completely exhausted from working too hard or dealing with too much stress for too long.
Example 1, he burned out from working 80-hour weeks for 6 months straight.
Example 2, if you don't take care of yourself, you might burn out.
And the last one, find your balance. This means to create a healthy mix of work, rest, relationships, and personal time in your life.
Example 1, finding your balance between career and personal life is key to long-term happiness.
Example 2, she's slowly learning to find her balance after years of working too much.
Those are 10 really useful phrases for talking about emotions, stress, and inner strength in English.
Practice using them in your own conversations. The more you use them, the more natural they'll become.
All right, that brings us to the end of today's episode.
Thank you so much for spending this time with us and practicing English through this conversation. We really hope today's episode helped you, both with your English and with your life.
Remember, finding your inner strength isn't about being perfect. It's not about never struggling or never feeling weak.
It's about being real, being honest, and being kind to yourself.
It's about accepting your emotions, asking for help, taking small, brave steps, and knowing when to rest.
You're stronger than you think, and every single day you're growing, both in your English and in your life.
Keep learning English naturally through conversations like this. Keep practicing little by little. Keep being brave. And remember, real inner strength comes from being honest with yourself and others.
Take care of yourself. You deserve it.
We'll see you in the next episode of the Just English podcast. Until next time, keep finding your strength. Bye.
Bye.